Howdy y'all, welcome one more time for episode 3 of this brand new City Skyline series, Rancho La Mariposa, here on the Gaming Verse. I am Juan R. Gonzalez, and I am going to, in this episode, begin the creation of the actual ranch, Rancho La Mariposa. We will designate the area for the ranch and begin creating the farming industry that this town was built on. Now, at the beginning of the video, as you saw, I am looking at where the most fertile land is, and there's really not a lot of fertile land in the square that we're in. Right now, we have about $35,000 in the bank, and we need a little bit more fertile land to create our farming industry. So I took the painting tool and, put down some fertile land right here on the top left-hand corner. Let's say that would be the west side of the square, and that's where we're going to begin to build our farming industry. And now in that same corner, I'm creating a district, which will be a farming district. And because right now at this particular point in time, we only have about $35,000 in the bank, I'm not going to be able to do the farming industry itself because I don't have the money for it, and we haven't unlocked it yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a series of farms and inside that district to generate the necessary cash so that then eventually we unlock the farming industry and we can start creating the actual Rancho La Mariposa. So, I just put down some, pretty ugly roads, just so that I can create some industry, so that our city can start generating some cash. That way, we can begin the process of creating the larger ranch, the main ranch, that's going to generate the industry, the farming industry for this small town. So. And the way I'm going to do this, like I did it before, which is we're just going to do a zonable industry right now. It's just the easiest to do instead of having to plop down a whole bunch of industry stuff, especially when you can't get too attached to it because it's not going to be there forever. And that's the whole idea, is that it is just a kind of stopgap so that we can start generating some cash, some positive cash flow in the city, so that then eventually we can start, we can build up to the actual farmland. So I took down some of the polluting industry that was that I had created before, so that we can generate some demand for the farming industry, which does not pollute. And that's what I'm going to continue doing, is as the industry within the farming area starts. And actually I messed up and I forgot to put down the farming symbol on the district. See, now it's down, so now it should generate some farms rather than some generic industry. So but as the industry demand grows and the farms grow, then that same way we're gonna take away from the polluting industries that are in our first industrial park, which is where we have the landfill and we have the water treatment plant and the recycling centers. So that's where we're at right now. We've generated enough cash. We're up to $86,000. I think that's what that is. Yeah, $86,000. So now we've unlocked the farming industry and we're ready to create the actual La Mariposa Ranch. So what I did is I kind of overlapped the ranch with the farming district that we had created before, and left out the section that we already had a ranch, a farming section in, and began, took out the other part of the district and just left that little portion on the bottom. On the southwest side of the tile where we had started our farming area. And once again, I dezoned some of these polluting industries so that we can generate enough demand for additional farms. And because we're going to start, providing we're going to start building out our farming district, our Rancho La Mariposa, which is our farming industry, the main source of our farming industry. So I, took down some of some more polluting. See, it's really polluted right there. So we're going to be taking down some of those industries that pollute significantly, and we're going to substitute them for farming industry, which is what we're doing over here. As you can see, there is no pollution over here, and they created a little bit more. There's a little more demand for industry. So we need to continue generating the cash so that we can start building out the Rancho La Mariposa, the actual ranch itself. And the way we do that is by generating demand. Right now, there's very low demand for residential, no demand for commercial, and very low demand for industry. So what I'm going to start doing is building out the roads. That's the first road inside the rancho itself, the ranch itself. That's the main road to the farm to market road that goes through the city, and it goes into the highway. And so from that point, we're going to create a road where the main house is going to sit. And I like doing it in this arc type of way, because eventually that road is going to become a main road for traffic. And so what I wanted to create is kind of a half, not a half circle, well, a half roundabout, so that we have that half roundabout going for traffic to flow a lot more freely through the ranch. So that's basically why I created that half circle. It's the start of the ranch's main road for where the ranch is going to sit. So here, as you can see, I'm trying to create the road for the main house. That's going to be the area where the main house sits. I needed to flatten it out a little bit because it wasn't the road wasn't sitting very well. So I flattened out the land, not all of it, because I do like the elevation aspect of it. So I flattened most of that property, and then kind of smooth it out on the edges, and just to give it a little character. And then that's where the main house is going to sit, and probably where the employee barracks will sit as well. The rest of the property is going to stay the way it is, and we're going to work with those elevations as we generate the necessary industry, each type of industry. So we plot down the main house, which basically opens up the farming industry, and now we can start putting down some crops, which is what we're going to start with. We're going to start with some crops. So Rancho La Mariposa lives, and then we're gonna start creating the industry that is going to be the main industry for that entire community, and that's what we're doing right now. So we're gonna plot down our first crops right next to each other. And basically, the way that I'm thinking right now is we'll put all the fruit crops on one side, and we'll put all the other types of crops, wheat and potatoes and vegetable crops, on the other side of the road, and help it grow that way. We need to put in all the water sources and electricity. That's why I put down a temporary electrical grid with a windmill. The idea here, and if we go with it, is that the ranch sold or rents or leases some of that land to the power company, where you can place down a turbine, a large windmill turbine, and they did that on the southern side of the ranch, where there's a huge concentration of that leased property of turbines. But in exchange for that, the power company went and put one down right in the middle of the property to generate electricity for the main house and all the houses and all the needs of the property inside that property. So that is kind of where, you know, that's kind of where we're going with that. That's why there's a windmill right in the middle of the property, generating power for the entire property. I put down some warehousing to start generating to start storing some of the products that are being made. We have the flour and bakery up and running as well. I'm just trying to straighten out the crops. We've got some animal products, beginning to generate. We're starting to generate considerable income. We're up to $101,000 in income because we have a very profitable farming industry. And so that's kind of where we're at. This is kind of a short video. So I'm going to ask you guys really quickly, if you like the video, please subscribe, give me a like, give me any comments. Don't marry yourself to this. We're going to make some changes as the industry grows, but this is kind of the start of Rancho La Mariposa, and we will be moving on from there. So here's some really quick cinematics, guys. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.